If I'm being really honest with you, about a month ago, I took a week off of YouTube because I saw that my relationship with God, it just wasn't as strong as it should be. I caught myself caring more about YouTube, worrying about views and subscribers. So I decided that it was a good time for me to take a step back. And during that journey of rest, I honestly believe the Holy Spirit led me to the book of Ruth. And while I was reading, I learned a lesson that I don't really hear a lot of people talk about, at least in my opinion. So I'm sharing it with you today because I honestly believe that there is at least one person out there that needs to hear this message right now. So, our journey begins in Ruth chapter 1 with our main character, Naomi. See, right now, Naomi's life is going well. She has a husband, she has two sons, and her two sons have wives of their own. And like I said, life is good. But then things start to take a turn for the worst, making her doubt everything that she ever believed in. First, her husband dies, and soon after, her two sons die as well. And at this point, she is just broken. So broken, in fact, that she decides to go back to her hometown of Bethlehem. And with her, she brought her daughter-in-law. As Naomi enters Bethlehem, people are rushing out of their homes to see her and saying, "Can this really be Naomi?" But in verse 20, she says, "Don't call me Naomi," she told them. "Call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter." See, at first, I understood her. The name Naomi means pleasantness and delight. That didn't seem to be showing in her life at the moment. So she wanted to be called Mara, which meant bitter and sorrowful. But this is where the hidden lesson I was talking about shows in plain sight. If you keep reading the Bible, it continues to call her Naomi. For example, in chapter 2, verse 1, it says, "Now, Naomi had a relative on her husband's side." If you keep reading in verse 2, "And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi," even at the end, it says Naomi said to her, "Go ahead, my daughter." I looked at that and I said, why did the Bible do that? And I realized it's because Mara was not her true name. Let me explain. See, Naomi wanted to be called Mara because she believed her life was messed up. All the people she loved were gone, and she genuinely believed that God had stopped caring about her. But the Bible continues to call her Naomi because God was still in the picture. If you keep reading, you find out that she becomes the great-great-grandmother to King David, which means that she is the great, let's just say 30 greats at this point. She is the 30th great-grandmother to Jesus. Now, what does that mean for you? See, just like Naomi, you may be looking at your life right now and think that God isn't there. I know I was, because I was so stressed about YouTube, I thought that God just didn't want me to succeed. But this happens because we are so focused on the little moments, we forget about the bigger picture. In Romans chapter 8, verse 28, it says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." That means if you love God, seek to do his will, and bring honor to his name, all the things that you do will be successful. Now, I said successful, not easy. There will still be trials, there will still be tribulation, and days that you want to give up. But don't make that same mistake that Ruth did. Remember that God is with you through it all and has so many great things in store for you. All you have to do is trust in him. Don't let your suffering define you, because the only title that you have is a child of the Most High God.